Well, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Mentoring young people, helping out during the pandemic. We have our community. We had a community of volunteers that were coming to work, and we would be feeding the nation. Basically, we were supported by another charitable organisation that gave us the food. We then parcelled up the food, and then we had players, we had ex-players, ourselves will come in, pack the bags and deliver them to the people of need within the city. Also, I would be the person at matches. I think I'm the only EDI that actually goes to matches and does fan engagement. So I would go to matches and make sure people know who I am and what I do. And Hampshire being Hampshire, people of colour are very scarce within the football industry. I mean, you'll see players that might be of colour, or stewards that work the games of colour, but when it comes to staffing, there are very few. So I made sure that I was that person going round the stadium at Fratton Park, making sure everybody knew who I was, said hello, you know, and got to know the fan base. So I think I must be the only EDI that does that. And that's just one part of my role.
And so what made you, from sharing your experience, what made you inspired to share that experience to the youth here? What made you think you wanted to help the youth?
Well, I mean, at the moment, as you can see from the news, the world is changing rapidly. Young people are carrying knives with no form of consequence of what their actions are. You know, they'll carry. Why are you carrying a knife? Why? You have to think about why are you carrying a knife. Who are you around for you to be carrying a knife? So I want to try and guide young people into not making those mistakes. You don't really have to carry a knife. If anything, learn to fight. Use your fists and learn to fight, but you don't need to be carrying a knife. And I'm coming from the consequence side of things, because young people do not think of the consequences. I think in London, must be 400 young people were killed by young people. That's absolutely crazy. So we need to try and educate these young people from an early stage that you need to be thinking about the consequences of your actions before you pick up a knife. Because you're not thinking about that, and when you're sitting in jail, the first person you're going to be crying for is your mum and your dad. And when you're out, you're disrespecting your mum and your dad because you're going out doing what you're doing. But when you get nicked and that door closes, you want your mum and dad. Yeah, so think about that before you pick up a knife and walk the streets, giving it all the gang behaviour, because it's young people are 15, 16, they're getting life sentences. And I don't think they have any idea what a life sentence is. Banged up 22 hours a day with somebody you probably don't like, or who doesn't like you. You know, go into different prisons, you'll be shipped all over the place for years. Go in at a 16-year-old, come out as a 45-year-old. What kind of life is that because you picked up a knife and took somebody else's life? It's no life. And then the impact it has on your parents and your family and the people around your family, it's a huge impact. But young people don't seem to think about that consequence. This is why I'm trying to coach them and give them the skills, educate them, trying to get them to stay in school or stay in college, you know, do something, get your English, get your maths, do a little bit of volunteering. You know, the world isn't a scary place, it's only a scary place by your behaviours and the people you're banging heads with. You know, and it's been glamorised all over social media, and they only see the glamorised side of things. They don't see the consequences. This is what I'm trying to teach.